Hey, happy Memorial Day. Welcome back to the channel, GreenhornBBQ Beer. I'm Todd.
Deborah.
And we're here to show you guys barbecue and how we do it. And we'd love to hear some of your comments down below. And be sure to like and hit that bell and subscribe if you want. So today, we got a special treat. So babe, what do you got?
Tomahawk ribeye.
Wow. So a lot of you might be asking why. Not sure why, because it's there.
Because it looks delicious, and because I saw Malcolm Reed make this, and I just about died.
Oh, Malcolm Reed, that's the How to Barbecue Right guy. Yeah, he's got a really good tutorial on a tomahawk steak. So we were salivating after seeing that video, and so we decided to visit a local meat company here in our county. It's called Ventura Meat Company. Imagine that. And they had this Australian agricultural company, you're right, Australian wagyu tomahawk steaks. They are descended from actual Japanese wagyu, and they're supposed to be pretty good. So this one's vacuum packed. So we're going to do this thing upright. We're going to sear it on the Weber. And once we got a really good sear going, we're going to offset it and finish cooking until we get it to juicy perfection of about 125. Then we're going to take it off, let it coast up to that wonderful medium rare consistency that we love so much, and then we're going to eat it. So we've never had a tomahawk before, so we're going to give this a shot. All right, here we go. So as you can see, this thing is vacuum packed. Came all the way from Australia. All right, as you can see, nice piece of wagyu, tomahawk ribeye, Australian beef. It's got a lot of nice marbling. We're not even going to trim this at all. We're just going to cook it just like this. No reason to. This thing is good enough as it is. So I'm just going to pat this dry here. What we're going to do right now is give it a nice salty dry rub. I'm going to use salt lick dry rub. It's pretty salty, just like salt, but it's got a few extra flavor enhancers in there. And so, almost forgot. I'm going to use a schmear today. I'm going to use a little bit of avocado oil. And get that thing all over. Then I'm going to take the salt lick and I'm going to give it a nice rub. Okay. Don't worry about over salting a piece of meat like this. It can handle it. At least that's what people say. We're going to go ahead and get the edge. And the other side too. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is let that salt lick rub work on that meat and let it sweat out a little bit, penetrate, and bring out them flavors in that steak. We're going to let it sit for about a half hour while we get the fire going, and we'll come back and we'll hit it one more time with this Harry Sue's Slap Your Daddy all-purpose rub. Give it a little bit of extra zing. Sure, it doesn't need it, but we're going to give it a try. Okay, so I'm going to go outside and I'm going to get the Weber going. Again, I'm going to do an offset sear. I'm going to sear that thing on both sides, get some nice grill marks, get some of that flavor going, and then we're going to offset it. And, you know, it's a pretty warm day today and I'm kind of thirsty. Babe, what are we having today?
Well, today we're going to have Shinerbach.
Oh, Shinerbach. Yay! Okay, and what are you having?
I'm having Malibu rum and more rum and some OJ.
Oh,
a splash of OJ.
Forgot to mention, you guys, we are going to do a, after we sear it, we're going to keep that thing wet with a rosemary, butter, avocado oil, and garlic kind of infusion that we're going to use. It's going to really keep that steak moist and delicious. Okay, like I said earlier, we're going to use the Weber 22 Performer today. I'm going to use the smoke and sear to get the offset coals going in there. I took out the water insert that these things come with just so I get more coal in there. And then I'm going to use some grilling grates. They're modular, so I took the center one out. And that should give me plenty of room on the other side for when I'm done searing. And I'm going to do the offset cook. Grill grates are getting up to temperature, and it's really important to make sure those things are as close to 600 degrees as you can get it. And because this is a Weber, it's really hard to get those coals right up underneath these grilling grates. But I'm seeing about 615, 620 on the right side, and closer to me I'm seeing about 550, and that's all right because I'm going to end up pushing it more toward the front. So this thing has been sweating out with the salt lick rub, and as you can see, it's done a really good job of pulling them juices and them flavors up to the surface and getting inside that meat. I'm going to give it one more little bit of a coat of this Harry Sue's. This isn't salty. I've tasted it, but it's got a lot of neat flavors that I want to get in there. Now we're going to cut these things pretty thin slices, so I'm not really worried about this being too salty. It's a big piece of meat. It can handle it. So, and by the way, once I'm done searing it, I'm going to insert a meter probe into the side, into the center meatiest part here, and this uses an app that you install on your phone, and you get a real-time temperature of what's going on inside. So I'm also going to hit it with the Weber instant read thermometer, so just to make sure I do it right. So here we go. I'm going to go at an angle at first. I'm going to push it down, get that sear. I'm going to go for about 1.5 minutes and then turn it 90 degrees and go for about another 1.5 minutes. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing. Once I do that, I'm going to pull it over to the offset side, and I'm going to put the meat probe into it, and then I'll just start monitoring that temperature. I'm going to pull it off right about 125, set it out, and let it coast up. It's going to still continue to coast for about another 5 degrees. All right, that looks beautiful. Okay, as you can see, we got the little spinalis at the top there. It's a really nice, well-formed spinalis. I like this cut of meat because it's got a natural handle here, which is pretty neat. Okay, so I'm going to pull it off. I'm going to turn it about 90 degrees. I should have used the grill grates. That's all right. It didn't stick. All right. Look at about another 90 seconds, and I'm going to flip it around. It was really tempting not to use the grill grates spatula to get up under the meat and lift it off the grapes without sliding it. With that bone, it's just such a natural feeling to want to grab that bone and flip it over. So I'm pretty sure it really made no difference. Okay. Well, if you guys could smell what I'm smelling right now. Okay, now I'm gonna flip it over using the grill grate. Bring it back this way. Oh yeah, look at that. Push it down a little bit, cover it back up. Look at my watch, 90 seconds. Okay, something I forgot to do. The fire is over here on this side. What you want to do is put the exhaust flue vent on the opposite of the fire so that you get that flow going. Now I'm doing direct grilling right here, and then I'm going to eventually be offset. But the fire is still over here, so this is where you want your exhaust. If you see over here, I actually have a Tell-True thermometer here that I invested in, about 30 bucks, and I put it right here. I wanted to see what's going on this side of the grill. The factory thermometer, really it's kind of useless. It's right above the fire. They put it on this side, which makes no sense to me, at least this style cooking. Okay, now let's move this thing. Okay, looking at the watch, another 90 seconds. Okay, looks like that's about all the searing that I'm going to do. So I'm going to take this over. Now we're going to offset it. Okay, what I want to do, I want to get this meat probe right in the middle. There we go.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Okay, now I'm going to offset it. Check my meter probe. All right. So it's looking pretty good. And I think what I'm going to do is give it some of that nice oil, rosemary bath. And why not hit the bone? Okay, at this point, I'm offset cooking it. And it's got beautiful color, beautiful marks on there. It's looking really good.
Okay, what were we talking about?
Okay, so it's almost done. It's almost at 125. I'm using the meter app, and unfortunately it's on my phone that I'm using to record this video now, so I can't show it to you. I'll include some screen captures a little bit later if you want to check it out. And but I've also been using the Weber instant read thermometer to double check, and it's pretty accurate. So we're about to pull this thing off at 125. We're going to let the thing rest for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to cut into it.
You want anything, honey?
I'm good. All right. It's getting close. So I guess the jury's out on whether bone in or bone out, whether it really makes a difference. Basic physics would say that the bone helps as a heat sink and helps control that temperature of the meat. I'm going to flip this over here a little bit. It's got some beautiful color, as you can see. Now, I shouldn't really have to flip it. I'm just looking for a more even kind of cook. Get some of that rosemary in there. And as you can see, I'm drizzling it. I don't want to wipe away any of that rub. It's got some really good color on there. All right, it's almost done. About 4 more degrees, and we'll be pulling this thing off. It's reached our target 125 internal temperature. There we go. Got a nice sear. Got a really nice texture there. And now this thing's still coasting, so it's gonna, in the next 10 minutes, it's gonna probably get up to 130, and then it's gonna slow down. And that's when we want to eat it.
Oh hell, I'm just gonna pick it up. Look at this. Oh my god, that's gorgeous. Woo!
Okay, so it's reached that internal temperature that we were looking for. And we're all done with that meter. All right. So you can see Got some really nice grill marks on there. Nice little char. We like a little extra well done on the outside. Nice little flame broil. Nothing wrong with that. And
that's gorgeous, babe.
About a medium pink on the inside.
Ooh, look at this vanillas. Ooh, I want it.
Okay, so the only thing left to do is cut it. So what I'm going to do right now, cut away this bone.
Nice.
All right, folks, this is why we do a tomahawk ribeye. Look at that. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and cut this open. Okay, that fat tail, mostly fat, but you know what? I like that stuff. Oh, that tastes so good. You know, the combination of salt lick and Harry Sue's rub, just before we put it on, it's a little salty, but it's really good. Very flavorful. That spinalis. Oh, this is so good.
Give me that.
Okay.
I'm not tasting salty, babe. I'm tasting freaking deliciousness. This is perfect. Oh my God. What are you having for lunch?
All right. So this is the first time I've actually had a Australian wagyu beef like this before, and it's you can read all about it. Australian Agricultural Company. The wagyu beef that they produce
Came out good.
has genes from the Japanese wagyu, and it's really second to none. I'm sure U.S. beef is just as tasty.
No, this is freaking delicious.
That's good.
This is really good.
And for you diehards,
That's mine, honey.
nothing wrong with just eating that off the bone. You got a piece of fruit there.
Oh my God. That's like the best part.
That's just so good. All right, folks. Well, thanks for watching.
Cheers.
We got a couple briskets to fire up in the Yoder tonight for an all-night cook for a barbecue we're having tomorrow. Be watching for that video soon. And we're going to finish this up.